who all other than myself stayed up late last night waiting for the launch of the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary collection. I was hitting the refresh page and it launched an hour earlier, according to what I've been seeing. I didn't know when it was going to launch, so I knew, you know, Cinco de Mayo, so I kept checking both Sephora and the website. Bloodshot eyes and everything, doing the refresh thing, and it showed up, so I was able to purchase the bundle package, which was like $348, but the signed train case was part of that. I didn't get a confirmation email, which is kind of freaking me out a little bit, but I'm hoping. I seen that a lot of people were upset about how fast it sold out and stuff like that, and same with me. Like I said, I haven't got a confirmation email, and I will be upset if like my order doesn't go through. But I'm hoping that she kind of realizes that and will satisfy her customers and just, you know, sign a couple more train cases, you know, put a couple more bundles together so that everybody can be happy. Anyway, this is a haul video. My typical Saturday haul video thing going on. I just haven't had time during the week to film. I still have that empties video tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going to try to maybe film that tomorrow and see if I can't get it up maybe Tuesday or something like that. But anyway, I just went to town and purchased a couple things at like Ulta and Sephora and had a couple online orders and stuff like that. I know there's like a cat hair right here. I know it. I purchased another shade of the Bareminerals Bare Pro foundation. I really, really like this foundation. I use the shade mostly in number 10 Cool Beige, but since I was using the Ket foundation, I was really liking that nice color it was giving to my skin. But being that we're getting into like the summer months, I'm going to be outside a lot, and I like to put on as much like base products with SPF as I can. I use all physical sunscreens. I know there's like, I've seen that video that was up about how much foundation you have to wear to actually get coverage. I'm like aware of that. But since I use all physical sunscreens, from my moisturizer to the foundation to, and then I also, like today, I used the Physicians Formula SPF 16 powder to set my face. Building on the layer of SPF on my face is going to definitely give me more protection, so that's my idea behind it. I use physical sunscreens because the chemical ones irritate my skin really bad, and I always find that a physical sunscreen protects me better from sunburn than a chemical one ever has. So anyway, I purchased the shade Teak 22, which is pretty dark. This is what the shade is. But this was the next shade in the range that had a cool undertone, so way down the line was Teak. Their shade range runs really warm and really yellow, so I had to go quite a ways down the line to get another one with a cool undertone to it. So on my face today, I mixed 2 parts of the Cool Beige with like 1 part of the Teak. I almost feel like I could have did a half and half, because I still feel like I'm a little bit more pale, so tomorrow I might add a little bit more Teak in with that. So I did purchase that guy, and then I kind of did the same thing with Dr. Jart. I went ahead and purchased the other shade 02 Medium Deep to mix in with the lighter shade, which is light medium, and then there's medium deep. There's only 2 shades in this. The reason why I like this, it gives a really pretty finish, has nice coverage, almost like a foundation. You guys have heard me talk about this forever, but again, in these summer months I'm going to be outside a ton, so like I like to build the Josie Maran SPF 47 moisturizer with SPF 45 on top of that, and I try to find a setting powder with an SPF, which like I've said before, they're really hard to find. Physicians Formula makes a really pretty one. It's the Mineral Wear Talc Free, and this is the shade Translucent. I also purchased this guy at Target because I hadn't used it in a while, but like I said, SPF powders are really hard to find. This has an SPF of 16 in it. I do have this on my face today setting the Bareminerals Pro foundation. I'm not gonna burn this summer. I did mix the Dr. Jart, I think it was the day before last, and I got a really pretty coloring out of the mix of those 2 as well. Then I really wanted to try this powder again. I had went through a container, no joke, probably about 5 years ago, and I had like stuck my finger in the jar in the store, and the formula felt different. It felt more creamy and less dry than the formula I had tried before. So if you have tried the old version of the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, very, very popular here on the tube, this formula feels a lot different to me than the formula that I had used 5 years ago. Like I said, it feels almost like creamy. It's not as dry feeling as the powder that I had used years ago. I had enjoyed it at that time, but that was the problem that I had with it, is on the skin it felt really dry. So when I went to put like bronzer and stuff on, I had a hard time getting the powder to kind of stick to my skin because it was a really dry powder. But I did use it to set the Dr. Jart when I used it the other day, and the finish is super pretty. I also set underneath my eyes, and it is a really pretty setting powder underneath the eyes as well. It's pretty expensive for a loose powder, but you do get a ton of product. There's a whole ounce of powder inside of here. It does have kind of a more yellow undertone, but like even in the container, if you can see, it kind of sticks a little bit to itself. It's got more substance, almost more hydration and a creamier feeling to it, which I find interesting. So if you've tried, you know, the Sephora, this powder years ago and have tried the newer one, let me know if you feel like it's different too. And then I really wasn't going to purchase this product. I was dying over the packaging, but the shades just looked too deep for me, and then I swatched it in the store and I thought, I think I can make that work. And this is the Smashbox in Vlada Petal Metal Highlighter, and the shade that I got is Gilded Rose. And this is what the packaging looks like. The Sephora Compact, there's a limited edition one to Sephora, and the cover of that one, I was surprised. I didn't know it was different, but it has a different cover on top. I actually think this packaging is prettier, but 0.35 ounces in this guy. And this has got a more rosy gold tone. I guess rose gold, the name fits it pretty well. Gilded Rose. Somebody told me, because I was like, why is everything gilded? Gilded means gold. I didn't know that prior to a few videos ago. Anyway, I do have a little bit of this on my cheeks today. I kind of mixed it with another highlighter that I'm going to show you from Stila and put this on top of it. And it does provide a really pretty sheen. It's a baked gelée product. But it kind of melds into my skin tone a little bit. So if I really want a lifted, you know, a lighter top on the top of my cheekbones to lift it, this one kind of isn't going to do that for me, but it does provide a pretty sheen to the cheek. So again, with the packaging, super pretty. And it's got that baked gelée type formula. So that is it right there. I'm going to swatch it next to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezi, because in the store at the time I thought that this looked similar, and then when I got it home, this is much more rosy. So here is Rosy Highlighter. It's lighter and more rosy. I mean, this one is lighter and more gold. This one is a little bit deeper and more rosy. And then the highlighter that I mixed it with is this new one from Stila. It's the Heaven's Hue highlighter. They came out with, I think there's 2 or 3 new shades. I had tried the holiday palette with this formula when it came out, whatever holiday that was. I feel like it was 2 or 3 years ago. Again, I don't know where the time goes. But I didn't care for that palette. I had a hard time getting it to stick on my face. This one here, when I swatched it in the store, the formula just felt a little bit more pigmented and a little bit more dense. And then when I got it home to try it, it actually picks up on a brush and applies much better than that palette I had tried some years ago. So the shade I got is Opulence. It's the Heaven's Hue highlighter from Stila. There's 0.35 ounces of product in here. And again, I have this kind of mixed on my face today with that Vlada highlighter. And this here, because it's a kind of a spongy semi-cream type of formula, it kind of allows this to stick to it a little bit, which is another reason why I kind of bought it, to try it out as a base for other highlighters to get really intense. But so far, so good on this guy. It does pick up again and apply much better than the ones I had tried previously. And because I'm obsessed, I did go ahead and pick up another Sonia Kashuk Makeup Blender sponge. This is the number 804. I really, really love this sponge. It's like become my favorite, and I've got a ton of different sponges, and I just love it. There's just something about me wanting to purchase all of the Colourpop palettes that come out. So I did go ahead and purchase the Shayla collaboration. It's the Perception palette, and this is what's on my eyes today. I do have Burberry's Trench eyeshadow underneath the brow because there isn't a matte brow bone shade in here, and then I do have a little bit of sparkle from a cream shadow I'm going to show you in a minute. But I've worn this a couple times since I've had it. Colourpop's palettes do come with a magnetized base, so these are removable, which is something that I have really been enjoying, that palettes have been doing a lot of that lately. Viseart also recently released some of their 12-pan palettes with a magnetic palette, which I'm about to get my hands on. But here are the shades in this. This is super nice. There are 4 mattes in here, which are these ones down here, and everything else has shimmer in it. I do feel like since there are so many colors in here, there's 16, that they could have made an exception and had just one matte brow bone shade in there. Again, that's something I've been noticing in a lot of palettes, that they have just not been including a matte brow bone. Maybe it's on trend to wear a shimmery brow bone highlight. Maybe I'm just behind in the times. I don't know. Anyway, here are the shades. There are 16 of them, and they are 0.039 ounces a piece, almost 0.04, which is a pretty decent amount of product. So let's get a swatch in. Again, this is what I have on my eyes today. $16, I believe, is what I paid for it. And these Colourpop palettes are really good. Both in terms of, even if they were more expensive, they're really good, but they're very affordable and the quality's great. I really enjoy them. So there's the top row, and then this middle row. Very, very pretty. That's the second row, and the third row. There's quite a bit of versatility in here because there's so many like colors, colorful colors. There's purples and greens and blues. So there's the third row, and then here's the fourth row. I guess you could almost call this shade right here a matte. It has got micro glitters in it, but the base is matte. That also goes for this shade up here. It's got micro glitters in it, but the base of it is matte. Isn't that crazy? Such good pigmentation. I do get some fallout with the mattes, but they're pigmented and they blend really well for me. So that is the Shayla and Colourpop collaboration Perception palette right there. And then I found some Wet n Wild at Ulta, which I thought was exciting. It's the first time I think I've seen Wet n Wild at Ulta. And I bought another one of the liquid catsuit eyeshadows. I've got, I think this is the fourth one I've gotten so far. This is kind of like a dupe for the Stila Glitter and Glow eyeshadows at a much more affordable price. I'm going to swatch this one and then swatch one of the Stila ones next to it. I have this tapped over my lid. I like to use these as toppers. I'm hoping that Wet n Wild comes out with a bunch more of these, because I think it was, what, $4.99 as opposed to $24 for the Stila ones. So it's a really pretty golden shade. And this is called Goldilocks, which is right there. I feel like there's a little more color to the Wet n Wild one, and the glitter particles in here are smaller than the Stila ones. So the Stila ones do kind of show up a little bit more vibrant in terms of the glitter aspect, but definitely a cheaper alternative to the Stila. This is the Stila one in Gold Goddess right there. Let's put it back a little bit more. And then I was up at my mom's house having lunch one day, and I had a really oily T-zone, probably because it's getting warmer outside. And so I went into her bathroom and she told me to use this powder. And I did, and it took away the shine in my T-zone. That was around noonish, and by the end of the day, about 8, 9 o'clock, I still noticed that just barely a hint of shine had broken through the powder. So I was like, I need to get me some of that. So I did, and it's the Neutrogena Shine Control Powder. And it does say instantly eliminates shine for a fresh look that lasts for 8 hours. And it does instantly eliminate the shine right away, but it lasts as well. Like, there's some powders where I'd come home at lunch, and there would be oily T-zone, and I'd use like a loose translucent or something, and it would take away the shine, but by the time about 4 or 5 o'clock rolled around, I was shiny again. So this one does a very good job, at least for me, of holding down that shine. And it's, yeah, it's a Neutrogena powder. I think it was $11, and it's an Invisible 10. If I'm not mistaken, I think that there was another shade of it too, but it's called translucent. I do notice when I put it on right away, it does have a little bit of brightness to it, if you will. So I guess I wouldn't call it completely translucent. It's called a rice protein complex, but I really have been enjoying it. It's been doing a heck of a job keeping the shine down. I was seeing this next product all over Instagram. I was like, I need to have that. And I was able to find it. And I think it's a Walmart exclusive. At least that's what it said on the display when I found it. And it's the Physicians Formula Butter Collection palette. I got the one in light medium. There's a dark, medium dark one as well, which has a darker bronzer and blush in it, but the highlighter is the same in the two palettes. So inside of here there is a little perfume right there which smells very similar to the fragrance that is in the butter products, which is kind of coconutty and summery. It's a really pretty smell actually. A little bottle of perfume, and then I think this was only $11.99 too, which is a really good price considering one of these powders individually, like a highlighter or whatever, is like $8 or $9 by itself. But this highlighter right here, I was just like, oh my gosh, it's like blinding. I have had the butter bronzer in my collection since it first launched years ago, and I had enjoyed it then. I kind of forgotten about it since then. But it is a nice bronzer. And then the blush in Natural Glow. And then these two are called Limited Edition, which I think Physicians Formula should do a few more highlighters for the permanent range with that much shine to it, because it's super pretty. These are the colors. This is like Megawatt Shine. I'll show you guys in a minute. Swatch. Let's swatch. These products blend out on the skin extremely effortlessly. And then this has got a pretty strong gold undertone to it. The formula of these, you can tell which is one of the things I'm not nuts about, but so far so good. I haven't had like any breakouts or anything, but there's a lot of silicones in them, which give them that slippery type of texture. Look at how shiny that is. It's crazy. These here almost feel wet. That's how much slip these two highlighters have in them. And then Huda Beauty came out with two more of her mini palettes, so I went ahead and purchased them off of the Sephora website. There's the Gemstone Obsessions palette and then the Coral Obsessions palette. And these each have 9 shades in them, which are 0.04 ounces a piece, which is a decent amount of product. I have worn shades from both of these palettes. I wore this guy yesterday, and I have gotten along really well with the Huda Beauty mini palettes. I know there had been mixed reviews. These are nice as well. I didn't have any problems with them. They're pigmented. They've got some pretty shades in them and stuff like that. But what I have found with, I think there's only one palette of hers in the mini formula like this, or the mini palettes like this, that I can use all by itself without wanting to bring another shade in. These ones here, I had to bring in other shades. They're not like standalone palettes for me, which is the only gripe I have. I'm really tempted to depot all of my mini palettes and put them in a big magnetic palette, but the packaging is so cute. But I feel like I would get a lot more use out of them if I did do that. I might. I don't know yet. But let me give you guys some swatches. This one here, the Coral Obsessions palette, I do wish there was one more deeper shade in here. Like, I feel like these two shades right here are awfully similar. They could have did a deeper shade in here, and then like these two colors right here, they could have put a brow bone highlight, a matte brow bone highlight in here, but these two are the shimmer shades, and then the rest of them are mattes. And again, I've gotten along really well with the mini palettes. I find that they're pigmented and they blend really well for me. I know not everybody feels the same about them, but for me they work pretty good. I just wish the shade range was correlated a little bit better inside. And the last little row here. The shades that are in here are quite pretty though. So that's the Coral Obsessions mini palette from Huda. And then here is the Gemstone Obsessions palette. Everything in here is pretty heavily metallic. It's got a thicker formula. When I use these, I do have to kind of grind my brush into them to be able to have the brush pick it up. Once I get it on, they are pigmented and very pretty, but it's got that type of formula that's a little bit thicker. I can tell there's some silicones in there. Let's give you guys some swatches. My favorite shade in here is this guy right here. It's more lavender, but it does have that hint of blue duochrome in it, which I just love. Yeah, these have so much silicone in them, they almost feel like a cream. But isn't that, they are pretty, not gonna lie. There's the first three. And then the middle ones. Definitely a pairing palette for me. You know, I just might go ahead and do that. I just might go ahead and depot all of the mini palettes so that I get more use out of them. And then this last row. Yeah, these are really thick. So there is the Huda Beauty Gemstone Obsessions palette. Yeah, these two are definitely my favorite shades. They're so pretty. And then lastly, I did purchase the Colourpop main stage set that they came out with. I I missed it the first go around when they came out with the bundle on the website because I was contemplating. I was going back and forth whether or not I wanted it, and then it sold out. But then it came back in stock, so I went ahead and purchased it. And there are, what, 6x4, 24 eyeshadows inside of here. These are the full-size pans, which are 0.05 ounces per shadow. It's like a, kind of like a festival looking eyeshadow palette. Again, this isn't really a standalone for me, and I kind of feel like these two shades are really similar. A matte brow bone highlight would have been really helpful, but other than that, I do again really enjoy Colourpop's eyeshadow formula. I think that they're really good and they're really affordable. Let me go ahead and pull out a couple shades and swatch them for you guys. I need to pull them out so I can read the names on them. I believe that you can buy these individually as well. This first one is La Playa. It's like a mint green color. This one is On the Rinse. All of these shades are shimmery. And then this shade is called 20 something. Oh, then too, because I did order the bundle, when I got it, mine was missing one of the shadows, so I did have to email Colourpop, go through my checklist, and find out what shade I was missing, and then email them and tell them that you forgot a shade, which I actually just got that shade yesterday in the mail. Those three were all shimmer shades. These next three are all matte shades. So you've got Formation, which is a pretty teal blue. This color is Bratty, B-R-A-T-T-Y, vibrant orange. And then this guy is called Hop On. Right there. There are 8 matte shades in the bundle, which are these two purples, this peachy color, then you've got these 4 right here in the corner, and that matte brown right there. Again, I think that I could do a ton of fun looks just using these shades if there was just an inclusion of a matte brow bone highlight. That's one that I feel like I have to bring in. But that is everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.